activities that we have to do in Jordan, I mean in Arenina or in Farah, or then we can add these examples as
More
separate
specific.
ones
Okay.
for specific areas.
Yes. And what about the challenges? Because I mean, the limitation and challenges, it should be mentioned because, you know, this is forgotten food. This is not usual, found. So they should include some challenges and limitation that is, even how they will get it. I mean, in the table, how will, you know.
Okay, you can add
it. What is the limitation for collection? Whether
you can add it if it is general for the three. You can add it, by the way, and send it to the others, and the others can add to it or modify it if you'd like.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah, you are right. Now we're talking about, you see, a global concept note. You see it, so we have to talk about the general things. But
Exactly.
I still think that we can develop our own, you see, regional plan of action. You see, both maybe making use of this, you see, concept note. You see, this will help us very much in developing our regional one. You see, so we in the meantime we will be talking about this. You see, the general, you see, things. We're not, mentioning that something that is very unique or specific to, one region or another. See, so okay, we can talk this at paragraph. Yes, mentioning the importance. There are many, you see, benefits from these forgotten foods. They are common. Maybe you all know. They are limitation, of course. They are limitations. So we can mention those.
maybe it's different from area to area, but it is limitation also.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, Doctor, about the budget and the client.
Yeah, this what is needed from us. You see the skeleton now. You see the budget, and you see the whole other thing: contribution, solution, duration. You see the activities. Yeah, this will be done later after we send our feedback. Then they will accommodate it. Then after that, they develop all this, including the budget, and send us, you see, the concept net back again. You see, but now they want our feedback on the skeleton, you see, of this.
And normally, Dr. Adil, when we put the skeleton, you know, this is in our, project. Normally, you put the budget, which is more than the client, because the client, you will find it later. But also the management structure for the people who are included or work in the project, you know, it should be, you know, included in this one, because, you know, if you want to write concept note, you should also explain or add who is working in this one. I mean, the structure of the people who are included in this. I know if this concept note, but concept note, it's not that, I mean, you are just given the idea. Also, you give, I mean, a full idea about also who will work and what is the structure of these people who are working, and the structure of the management structure, who will work, who will do the writing, who will do the collection, who will do this and this and this. I think this is also important for the concept note.
Okay, you are right, but we are at the very beginning. So we still are not talking about activities. Even we are not talking in details about the plan of work. You see, this is all will come. You see, all this will come. Now we have to concentrate. You see, on we make sure that this concept note reflect at least our vision and mission and our goals, which Aranina is looking for, and also the regional manifesto is well covered on this concept note. So it's okay that we will add this paragraph on the importance of forgotten foods and the limitations challenge. That I think it's okay. In the meantime, you see, at later stage when we come to the details, then we can add more.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Dr. Adil, can I have some?
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry for not being able to respond and to to read the concept note because I was extremely busy.
Yeah.
But I had a quick look now, on at least for the beneficiaries and all this information.
Yeah.
What I can see from reading the beneficiaries, I think it is not somehow not well organized, because we have to be specific on who is going to be benefited from this one and what are the expected outcomes. Here in this section, there is a mixture between both. The outcomes to have about this 600 million of the people that will be benefited, I doubt it will be, it is right. We can say that we are the people, they will be, getting advantages from this by applying this, the outcome of this, or the output or the result of this project, they will be benefited later on. But if we are talking about the beneficiaries, we have to be limited or specific to the people who is going to be benefited within the lifetime of the project. This is my view, number one. Number two, there is confusion between which area that you are targeting with this concept node. Okay, to target the people globally, this is perfect, but within our, with the concept node, we have to be specific about the places or the area that we are going to work on. This is my, comment. I'm sorry again, because I did not have enough time to go in depth for this concept node.
Thank you, Dr. Sausan. Yeah, you are ahead of us now. We are coming to this intended beneficiaries. You see this paragraph. You are right to see. Even in addition to that, they are only mentioning there are many beneficiaries. They are only talking about the smallholder farmers. They're talking about consumers, private sector. I don't know. There are many who can benefit. Many who can benefit.
They can be included with the farmers. So it is somehow the paragraph needs to be rewritten in order to give specific and direct information for the person who is going to receive our concept node. Because the way that I can see it, it is not very well written, and it's really foggy. The person who is going to read it will not get an idea about what are we going to do, and who we are targeting. So what I would suggest that, okay, to have targeted people, targeted countries, and who is going to be benefited from this result of the project. So in that case, we will be, will be more clear, and the person who is going to read our concept note will get clearer idea about what we need.
Okay. Okay, but I think also the beneficiaries not only smallholder farmers, there are many, you see, many, even the list can include more, you see, who can benefit from this.
I fully agree with you. I fully agree with this. Yeah.
So this paragraph or this, you see, subtitle need more clarification, you see.
Yeah.
Rearrangement, maybe addition, you see. Some editing also, I can see. Yeah. So any other suggestion regarding this subtitle, intended beneficiaries? Dr. Ali?
Yeah, shukran. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was like 5 minutes away, but I would like to mention about the, of course, the ultimate target are the farmers, smallholders, farmers. And this concept note, I mean, and the proposal is for is for 3 years. I mean, maximum is 3 years for the project to have its deliverables. So whenever we do this project with its activities, one of the things that we need to include the farmers from the beginning. So the forgotten foods, which is really something kind of socio-economic aspect of the involvement of these farmers at the beginning of the proposal. So because the objective of the project, as we know, is the farmers, smallholders, farmers. So involvement of them at the beginning is very important. Thank you.
Yeah, we agree on that. But you see, they are indirect. You see, beneficiaries. Yeah. The most direct one, yeah, you're the small, but that in there, even you are a researcher, so we should be benefit from this.
Yeah, but at the end we are serving them.
Yeah. Okay, good. Any other comment? You see, I think Dr. Khalid here, or Dr. Abu Layla is adding also some point to the regarding the farmers. The benefit will be getted by farmers. He added 6 point there are 5. He added 6.1. Also, he's talking about marketing opportunities with less competition and species and maybe monopolists to market their crops. This is more or less linked to point number 5. You see, by being more engaged in market space. You see, this maybe some elaboration on that. Also, Dr. Khalid is mentioning here that at the end of this subtitle that we should refer to large expected effects on the biodiversity for food and agriculture that can include the pollinators, mycorrhiza, fungi in general, insects in line with the biodiversity for food and agriculture. That is a standalone sector of the FAO Commission. So his suggestion, you see addition of more benefits that can be acquired from this project. You see, regarding the biodiversity, it's okay. The biodiversity, yeah, I think it's okay. So we have to delete some kind of rearrangement for this subtitle, more focused. You see, clear to maybe to add more of the indirect beneficiaries. You see, and, because this is just listing, but listing, yeah, for the beneficiaries. But as Dr. Substance said, we have to be more focused. We have to be clear on that. You see. So then we shift to the second subtitle, the goal statement. Goal statement.
Please, Dr. Adel,
Yeah, Dr. Khaldoon, I forgot you see, in the background, you see, you have to mention the contribution of these to the sustainable development goals, especially SDG 2. This is very important because it's written in the regional as well as in the global manifesto. It's not mentioned here. See?
Yeah,
that's
you're
very
right.
important. Yeah.
In addition, we have to highlight the importance and significance of zero poverty and no hunger, which are the first 2 SDGs.
Yeah.
There is no mentioning of these terms. I have another suggestion, Dr. Adel, if you please.
Yeah.
Regarding the subtitle, with regards to subtitle intended beneficiaries, I would like to use the subtitle potential beneficiaries instead of intended.
Good.
I think this would be better.
Yes, better. Yeah. Potential. Yes. All right.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Yeah, you are right. Then I think you have to add the part of this, the contribution of all of this to the SDG, especially SDG 2, partly to SDG 1, as maybe are talking about hidden hunger, malnutrition.
Exactly.
Okay, good. So I don't see. I don't know if the purpose first or the goal. I don't know. They are putting goal then purpose.
The goals in the beginning, I think it's better.
Better, not the purpose.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, goals always will be the first initially.
Okay. Okay. Now the goal.
Dr. Adel, do you receive my comments?
No. Please go ahead.
I already sent it. When we reach, I mean, most of it, I just added in track changes.
Interacting. Okay.
You will receive them.
Yeah,
But when
okay.
I reach to the outputs, I will talk a little bit.
Yeah,
okay.
okay. So regarding the goal statements, so we have around mentioning 7 goals. The first one is the global platform. Support all these things. Then support the country through capacity development, curricula. Then South-South and South-North network. Then improve access to market through the short-term supply, support conservation and improvement of indigenous local species. Then support partners in mobilizing more and better target sustainable investment. And then support countries to define their own pathway to improve their nutrition and food security. So they are mentioning 7 goal statements. Any changes, any addition to these goals? Are all these are okay with us covering at least our regional agenda on forgotten food, or we have to add more?
I would like to suggest one thing regarding
Okay.
the second goal is to support countries, including through capacity building and curricula. I would think that the word capacity building is could be more suitable here.
Capacity building, capacity development.
Instead of capacity development.
Yeah, it is appropriate.
I think this would be better.
Yeah,
The building is better than development.
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
No, you know, we have capacity in the different countries. You are not starting from zero.
Grazie. Yeah.
There is a lot of capacities. When we
Yeah,
say
okay.
capacity development, we mean that we don't have zero, and we have a lot of expertise in these countries. So you
Okay.
are just developing these and tuning this. That's
Okay.
why they added to it curriculum, because they want to include curricula, but there is a capacity in the regions, in the different regions.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
Not all.
Yeah, Dr. Aglun is right. This is how most of the people are using this development, because you are not starting from scratch from in any field, you see.
Okay.
So the terminology changes. They are using development. They are using strengthening instead of the building. You see,
Yeah.
building that you have to start from the start. So they are
Mm.
very. You see, in the literature, or now seeing building is very few, very rare
Yeah.
is mentioned in the literature.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
If you allow me, Dr. Adel.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Agluni.
Yeah, for the people who mentioned that we have to add something specific for countries, number 7, which says support countries in defining their own pathways. This included that in the projects, because this is a concept note, usually taken general. In this part, we are including that everything will be specific for a region or a country should be included in the proposal. So all of these are included in page number 7, because you know these concept notes usually sent to people who taking decisions, and they need as short statement as possible.
Yeah.
Then when we go to the project writing, then we're including all these specific things. Thank you.
Welcome, Dr. Agluni. Any addition to this? Yeah, Dr. Khalid mentioned that the documentation is not mentioned. This is one of the objectives that should add. Support countries in the documentation and information management of forgotten foods. You see, this is maybe a new suggestion that to be added, because it's one of the goals of the manifesto. See, the documentation and information management. So maybe we'll add this to the goals Maybe it will be number 8. Any other addition? I don't know. Number 2 is they are talking about capacity development and curricula. Is it yeah, okay to see to separate them or make them at some point the capacity development, because capacity we are talking about all in the value chain, the capacity development.
Usually, Dr. Adil, they come together because if you are supporting through the project some people to go for like a master degree or something in like that in forgotten food and neglected species, then usually they go together. In many of our projects, they go together. Capacity building and curricula, they go together.
What I mean that we are targeting all the stakeholders along the value chain. See, starting from the smallholder farmers up to the private sector, market, export. We are targeting all the volume, the capacity, all of this. You see, but when we are talking about curricular, we are talking about schools. We are talking about the university. I think I don't know. If you see that, we leave them. Because the capacity should be strengthened, you see, alone, you see, stand alone, you see, it's very important, you see. This will have, we call it the functional capacities, the technical, the institutional organization capacities of these stakeholders. This will, at the end, we will see, we have changes in mindset, you see, toward forgotten foods, you see. So I see this from this view, because I don't know. But if you see, we leave them together, it's okay. Okay, any addition? Dr. Ali, you want to speak?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like regarding the same point, when, as my understanding, when we are talking about curricula, that means it's for academic. And as Professor Adil said, that capacity building is, in fact, has a big spectrum, which is including who is working, the community of practice, from the farmers to the business, and the students, I think, also among them. So might be, the word curricula, capacity building, including curricula, might be will be under the capacity building, instead of equal power. So curricula, it will be under the capacity building.
Well, even if you delete the word curricula, still it's hidden under the capacity building.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it should be there, because this is give more power for the student to be included in this one. If you put it just for the capacity building, maybe it will not come, or nobody will think about it to be, to be included in this one. So let the student has a part as a PhD holder or master degree to go and work in this one. I think it should be there.
No, we're not talking about deleting it. No, we are talking about separating, not deleting. You see, so we a different point. You see, not deleting.
Yeah, it is. It is here. And it's okay. If it is not or. This is what I mean.
Okay. Okay.
Dr. Khalid, Dr. Khaldoon.
Yes.
Khaldoon, yeah.
If you please, I would like to support the idea of Dr. Ali Lawati regarding we can put it in this way: support countries through capacity development, including curricula, because as you know, curricula is can be considered as a part of this capacity development.
Yeah,
I think this would be better. Through capacity development, including curricula.
Okay. Okay. Okay, then we move to the project purpose. Enhance resilience of national programs, their own proposed system. Strengthening income opportunities for smallholder farmers, improve diversity in diets, strategic livelihood asset, better understanding.
لا
diversity.
خلاص
So these are the project purpose. Any addition or changes to this purpose? Maybe even if there's some editing.
Sorry, Dr. Khalid, Dr. Adil, where are you? I was just missing.
Project purpose.
Okay.
Project purpose. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So your feedback on this, the purpose which is written, is okay with you, or we have, yeah, there's some editorial work, but any addition to this? Dr. Khalid, do you think that, Dr. Khaldun, we have to refer to this SDGs also? Dr. Khaldun?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
In supporting our idea of
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
concept note.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's better to highlight the significance and importance of SDGs.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Dr.
so.
Ali Lawati? Yeah, thank you,
Yes.
Dr. Khaldun. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, if you read the purpose, they point into two elements, two group or two stakeholders, the small holder farmers and the policymakers. So, that means this project is aiming to them, that the smallholders are going to benefit, and the policymakers, they should also help us in this project, and they should understand what is the forgotten food and how they can assist us through this project and for the sake of food, for the sake of food and nutritional food and quality food. So it seems that we should concentrate on this. Of course, the first one is known, but the policymakers really, it's a new element that they need also to understand why we need forgotten food in our proposal, in our project, so we can get help from them. Thank you.
So it's okay to own. Thank you, Dr. Ali. Is it okay we talk only about two beneficiaries? You see, the first, if you go back to the goals, you are seeing others. You see, beneficiaries. Yeah. Is it okay to go talk only about the smallholder farmers and policymakers?
Yeah, I mean, if we would like to include, then it is the place to include other beneficiaries, because they are only talking about these two groups, which is the policymakers and the small farmers. But I think if there is another important group, we need to include them as well.
Yeah. Dr. Ajunia.
If you go back, if you go down to the outputs, it is more detailed, the purpose. If you go to point 3, it says policy advocacy material, and I added to it /options to promote the required changes as expressed in the manifesto in terms of research approaches, subsidies, and policy support. So this is what is needed from policymakers, that we as a scientist prepare advocacy for them, awareness, and provide them with options, policy options, to promote these, to support farmers and these things. So if we read the purpose with the outputs, it will be better. We can improve it a little bit.
Yeah, okay, but you are talking about in the post about only two beneficiaries, you see, small holders, farmers, and the policymakers. But when you come to the outputs, there are some others. So okay, it's okay, Dr. Ayouni, that here
Yeah, but here we are putting strategic livelihood assists of poor, safeguarded. You know, this including all the beneficiaries. We are targeting the poor community, wherever it is. You see what I mean? Strategic livelihood assist of the poor, safeguarded.
Yeah.
You see, here is including all the local community. Yeah, I read it very well, you know. I don't know if Ali with me in this.
Yeah, this is in which number, Doctor, for the outputs?
No, in the project.
In the purpose.
Okay.
Line number 3, after diets, strategic livelihood assets of the poor safeguarded. You see, of the poor safeguarded. We can say of the poor people in the rural communities if you want to target only rural communities. But if you leave it as poor, you see, then you are including all the country people. You are targeting those people. You see what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I
Okay.
Can I step in here?
Yeah, Dr. Sobson, yeah, welcome.
Okay, I think the whole concept note, have a problem with the terminology, because every time we are talking about different word and different terminology, because what we are doing, we are targeting, and the name of this target or target country or target whatever, it is different from place to place. We are talking about from the beginning, the beneficiaries, we said that, okay, poor farmers. Here, if you look at the purpose, it's we are going to enhance the resilience of the national program. So it cannot be that we are talking first at the, about the poor, and then now we are working on the national program. We have to be very specific and we have to be very clear. This is it gives a big confusion for the people who is reading it. We have to agree from the beginning we are going to target, who are our target people, target group, target countries, and then we have to include it in the purpose of the project. The way it is written here, it is somehow not clear, and it will make the person who is reading it or the donor will not be, aware or having the full picture about what is the target of our concept note. What I would suggest to agree from the beginning about the terminology that we are going to use in this concept note, who is a target people or target, stakeholder, target actors that we are going to include. And then we have this, this group and the same name all over the concept note. This is number 1. Number 2, if you look at the beginning, when we are talking about the capacity development and so over, this is not included in the purpose. Why? I know it is somehow, it is, the main objective or main, what we can say, activity or main, what we call it, component in the concept note. So it has to be included in the purpose of the project. Otherwise, if we want to leave the purpose in general, we don't have to go for these details that it is written. So we need to make sure what we need and what we want. We need to decide on this. This is my comments.
Okay, Dr. Sasson, you're right. You see, that's what I'm aiming at. You see, I'm asking many times, are these all we are looking after? So we have to be consistent, you see. We have our goals. So the purpose should be in match with the goal, you see. So the purpose should cover in general, you see, what we define in our goals. You see that the capacity development is very important, you see. That should be added to the purpose. So this the concept note is open, you see, for all us to add, you see, and delete, see, change. So there are many valuable comments. This we will write it in a separate, you see, paper, not in this as in the document.
Doctor,
Right. So some genuine point, you see, will write to the organizers regarding, see, the setup and of this concept note. You see, so it should be consistent, should be, everything should be clear, well defined. You see. So thank you, Dr. Sosa.
Thank you, Doctor.
Dr. Adil, I agree
Yeah.
with Susan. If you give me if I can suggest something, you know, because of the consistency, I think the purpose is very clear now. We are talking about smallholder farmers, because, you know, these forgotten foods or underutilized species mostly utilized by smallholders, and it is found around it. So we can unify everything on the concept note, targeting, when we say farmers, smallholder farmers. If you agree, of course, if the people are agree, and if Susan agree with me on this.
Dr. Ajloni, it is not me who agree. This is not what we are targeting. It is what we need and what is the purpose of our project. If we are targeting small farmers, it's okay. But from my perspective, I think we need to include more than the farmers. It is not only farmers, it is the NGOs also, because they have, you know, they will have a great role there. You know, the development agencies, we have to target the private sector as well. We have to target the government, okay, and the policymakers. These are some of the important, you know, actors. They will have big role, because the small farmers by themselves, they will not be able to do much. We need, it is, you know, it is not only one person or one actor or one stakeholder that is going to do and to achieve the goal. This has to be as integrated among many actors that will help us to achieve our goal and to reach or to enhance the use of this neglected you know, crops. Otherwise, we are working on one aspect. It will not succeed. It will not succeed. It will somehow succeed for the farmer. They will feel it. But to make it fly and to make it in general, it will not succeed unless you know, involve the other people. This is my point. I'm not sure if I'm right or not.
No, when I say we are targeting smallholder farmers, we are not targeting, you know, the big holder farmers, because this is they considered internationally that they are business people, and they are not targeting, I mean, directing these such a project to them. When I say smallholder farmers, I don't mean excluding the policymakers or the NGOs, you know, or but the private sector, if it is from the large holding farmers, they are not targeted by these such projects. When you say, for example, if there is NGOs, you know, women farmers, including within the small and so on. So you can say, for example, in the beginning, the first time we mentioned smallholder farmers, we can put in brackets NGOs, you know, and all of these things. But we have to separate between policymakers and those people, you see? I agree with you 100%. We are targeting those smallholder farmers wherever they are. If they are in the private sector, if they are NGOs and so on. I agree.
Dr. Ajloni, Dr. Adil, may I say something? Actually, yesterday I was discussing the issue with the Royal Botanic Garden in Jordan, and they were supposed to be Her Royal Highness Basma bint Ali to join us in this meeting today, but she had another, but I'm sure she will join us in the coming meetings. And now she's writing a book about the forgotten food and this subject. So what I would say, as Dr. Susan mentioned and Dr. Ajloni, I think the NGOs, they should be part of the whole issue. And at the same time, the private sector, if we are getting to get to marketing, if we are going to get to more businesses of this work, I think we need the private sector somehow to be involved with the work. Yes, the smallholder farmers, they are the key players in this issue, but I think we have to consider what Dr. Susan said, because by the end we need to make at least somehow a lot of benefits of this work. By the end, we need to get to marketing. By the end, we need to, well, I know now some people, they are making trademarks of some of those
Yes.
things. So this is really important. Thank you, Dr. Adil.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you are right. You see, so we are targeting, yeah, smallholder farmers are at the center of the process, you see, but we are targeting all along the value chain. Since we are talking about the value chain, we are targeting all this. Okay, then we move to the outputs.
Dr. Adil, just I
Okay.
have a question.
Yeah.
Do the document need definition of terms,
To which terms?
terminologies that
Yeah.
found in this? Do we need? I am just a question.
Do you have some term you need to be, you see?
Yeah, for example,
Fine.
the word smallholder farmers might be known by all of us, might be,
Mhm.
but might be for a document that is complete, might be it's good to have it. I mean, if we do have really several terminologies in the document and need to be added, which could be one page. That's just might be a suggestion.
If it is not a long definition, maybe as a footnote. Okay.
It might be
Yeah.
footnote, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can be a footnote if to say what you mean, but you know,
Yeah, yeah.
according to just Dr. Sousan says, we can put a footnote on small farmers in the bottom, define it and say including, you know, NGOs, you know, all of these things. And as Dr. Adil says, all the people or all the stakeholder in the value chain included, which will be excellent, so that people will know what we mean by that. Can be a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we move to the outputs. They wrote down 7 outputs. Yeah. This is the platform, the one for the platform, the second for the inventory, and the third for the policy, the fourth crop improvement, and the success system, the long-term conservation. They are talking all about ex situ. They are not talking about in situ. They are talking about the platform, the one south.
You know, I added in number
okay.
6, long-term conservation in ex situ facilities and in situ, because you are talking about both. So I added. That's why I wait until I send you the comments. Yes. And number 7, I just changed it to be promote establishment of sharing knowledge platforms as described above, and it will between brackets at least one south-south or one north-south should be established.
Sure.
You know, so anyway, I make it track changes. You can just see it, and if you agree, you can keep it. Otherwise,
Okay.
you'll. I don't know if you don't receive it anyway. But I think we have to include in situ, because
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Most of these species are in situ, and the people, the rural community, are utilizing them while they are in situ. So I added already.
So you are talking about we are going back to the definition. What we mean by forgotten food?
I just write it near the point.
Yeah, you are right. But
Yeah.
I would like to remind all that we are talking about cultivated. You see, for example, in Jordan, you have this sorghum. At one time, is you see cultivated and maybe main stable crop. Now it's not. But in Sudan now it's stable crop. You see, this is cultivated. We are talking about domesticated, and we are talking about wild. So we are talking about 3 kind of forgotten food. You see. So if now I see I think you are talking about the wild one. You see, the wild one. We're not talking about in situ. wide or semi-domesticated one. See?
Exactly, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. You know, this will include all the definition of the forgetful.
Okay, okay.
So what's
Of
the
the
difference
neglected-
between the
neglected.
platform in 1 and 7?
1 and 7.
Yes.
Yeah, interlink. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the same almost.
Well, I think
No,
the
no, no, no,
platform
no,
is
no, no. No, no, the establish the global platform as defined above. I don't know how you I mean, what's the definition above? Because I see down knowledge platforms. Is it the same?
platform is a platform. I mean, okay, you want to establish a global platform, that's fine. You want to establish a south-south, north-south platform, that's fine. But I don't know
Yeah.
if there's a difference between 1 and 7.
Yeah, there is difference. I think number 7 is electronic platform. Number 1, it's really kind of operational platform. So there are difference.
No, but it is saying as defined above. Where is it defined? The global.
Yeah, in the goal.
حيالله.
In the
Goal number
goals.
1.
In the goals. Developing a global platform to support
Yeah.
smallholder farmers
Yeah.
at the central research, promote awareness, intercept the continuous expression of research, develop framework, curriculum, support agenda of supporting. I think that one, the 1 and 7 means exchange platform between south and south and north and north, and the above one is talking about national platforms. I mean including national activities.
Number 1 is a global platform.
Yes, we can, if you would like, we can add to it, you know, knowledge sharing platform, south or north-south knowledge sharing platform. Or
Well, I think the best way is to ask Carlo. Maybe he has something in mind in this. Okay.
Yes. But your point is very valuable. Yes.
Yeah, see in the goal here, goal number 3, they said establish south-south and south-north networks. They're talking about network for generating and sharing knowledge and technology for
instead
both
of
food.
Platform, it can be changed to networks.
Networks, yeah.
Yes.
Networks.
In this case, it can solve the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Networks.
Okay.
Dr. Adel.
Yeah, Dr. Abu Khaldun, yeah.
Thanks for the rich conversation. I think Carlo Fidda has mentioned in page number 4 when he talked about the goal statement and in the first goal, in goal number 1, develop a global platform to support A, B, C ending with F. I think that all the components of this global platform has been displayed. And you can read that put smallholder farmers at the center of research, promote awareness and the importance of forgotten food and for adaptation to climate change, etc. Intercept the continuous expression of research priorities by stakeholders, develop framework curricula to train future generations, and support an agenda to shift public funding from supporting unsustainable practices towards more diversified and nature-positive approaches, and ending with support raising funds for the implementation of actions aiming at changing research approaches. So I think all the components are already, this is the meaning of mentioned above. When he talked about the global platform described above or mentioned above, I think this is the, he mentioned from A to F, 6 main components of the definition of this global platform.
Yeah. This is what we have already mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah.
To this, yeah.
So in our sections, we are discussing about the outputs of the project. We are now dealing with the outputs of the project. I think the definition of the global platform is already mentioned, and we can build on that.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Okay. So I think regarding the output, you see the output should be versus some goals. We are not seeing the capacities appearing here. We're not seeing anything about the knowledge, documentation. You see, so these are additional points you can add to the outputs. You see, we are developing the capacity of the different stakeholders around the value chain, or we're enhancing them, and also the indigenous knowledge and heritage of forgotten foods is well documented, managed, maybe and shared. So these may be additional to outputs that reflect.
I think this should be in the outcome, Dr. Adil.
No. It will be in the outcome, but you see in some modification wording. You see, yeah. You know the outcome is the effect or the impact of the output. You see.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
But I mean, documenting this knowledge should be raised to the outcome, because this will be a result of many outputs.
No, but here we didn't mention anything about this and the outputs.
I see.
Nothing is mentioned about documentation or
Okay.
this.
So you want to add another one, 8.1?
Yeah. We are adding two.
Okay.
The capacity development part and the indigenous knowledge and heritage of forgotten food, well documented. You see.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think documentation, and then you can say the capacity, because out of this documentation you can find something that people know it in certain area, but we want to transfer it to another area.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the documentation first, and then the capacity development, so that we will see that this will feed on the other one.
Okay.
Actually, I was thinking of the capacity to be one of the outcomes, because policymakers, yes, they are aware, they will support, they will. Farmers will get involved, farmers will get opportunities, they will get incentives. But at the same time, one of the major outcomes is to build capacities, because if you are building the capacities, then after that you can go ahead and start having more businesses, having more impact, have marketing, etc. So I think one of the major outcomes should be the capacity building. By the time you get people trained, by the time you get people who got degrees, by the time you got curriculum improved in order to get degrees, you might get PhD students to work in this direction. You might get master students to work in this directions, and all of those ones will be capacities in the forgotten food, because maybe you go for one full country, you might not find a person with a master degree in this subject. So I don't know if the capacity should be to the outcomes or it is an output.
Yeah, it's an output and outcome, both. You see, should be output and outcome. You see. So what I wrote here, regard for the outcome, because I'm sorry, the main the impact of the capacity development is the change in the mindsets, change in the mindsets of the stakeholders regarding the importance of forgotten foods in diverse, sustainable agri-food system. This is the change in the mindset which will be reflected in their, you see, they'll be convened about the importance of the forgotten food, so they will support the value chain of the forgotten food. At the end of the day, this will be reflected in the sustainable agri-food system. So the first you have to mention the output, then what is the impact, what is the effect of this output is the outcome, you see, the outcome. So the outcome is the change in the mindset. All those people will be convinced about the importance of the even including the policy makers of the importance and the value of the forgotten food. So this
I
will
think-
be reflected in the change, you see, that will happen
I
in the
think-
food system. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Dr. Adel, the change in the mindset, I don't know if it is will be in the impact or in the outcome, because the impact will be changing in mindset of those people, which is the long-term effect. You see what I mean? So it should be in the impact. I don't know. You
Yeah,
see?
it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you are talking about long-term, because you cannot see, I like your point very well. You know, changing the mindset is not going to be the result of the direct result or the short term or
Short
long.
term. Yeah. Yeah.
It will be long term.
Yeah.
So this will be in the impact, because I see only one impact, which is concentrated on the whole holding farmers. But you know, if you put changing in mindset of the policy of all of these things, then it will be excellent. You know.
Mm.
So this will be the long term.
In the long term. Yeah. All right. All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
If
It's
you
okay.
allow, if you allow me, I add one outcome. If you are discussing the outcomes now,
Okay. Okay.
I add second point under the policy: neglected and underutilized species, conserved and sustainably used by farmers for improving food security and nutritional status of rural communities. This will be as a result of many outputs in the above.
Now, number 3.
That's number 2. Yeah, I leave farmers more improved in decision-making process as number 3. So the first one, policymakers. I will send you the copy of my comments. I think I send it to Dr. Shibli, but I will after we finish, because I add some words, I will send it to you, to everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Here we are talking about farmers. We said that we have to be consistent.
Yes.
We have
So
to talk
I-
about smallholder farmers. It's okay.
Your comments now are with Dr. Adel. We send them in the email
Yeah.
during
Okay,
the
excellent.
discussion. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Okay.
so the point outcome number 2 should be smallholder farmers or farmers, especially smallholder farmers.
Yes. So we are talking
Yeah,
about policy
Smallholder farmers.
in first point. Second one, we talk about the species. The third one is talking about farmers.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I said,
In outcome number 1, our number 1. I don't know what about the development partners. About the support. Is it, for example, outcome number 1, policy
Yeah,
and
I
decision
think-
makers and development partners
Adel.
globally, regionally, and in country will support the establishment of research, innovation, and development agenda around forgotten food as demanded in the Global Manifesto. So
Dr.
we have
Adel.
to include the global development partners. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think,
Yeah.
Dr. Adel, I think by adding this phrase, the point would be more clear. I have one suggestion to make number 1 and the outcomes looks like that. Policymakers globally, regionally, and in countries will support the establishment of legal framework and research and development agenda. So let's put legal framework, including the legislations, laws, instructions, etc., before research and development agenda around forgotten foods as demanded in the Global Manifesto.
no,
I think this would be more clear.
no, Khaldun, if the
Tafadhal.
policymaker going to support the establishment, then they already understand, they already putting the legal mechanisms for that.
Framework.
Yeah, exactly. The legal issues, they already, their support is through putting legal mechanisms. That's why we put
But
in number 3, policy advocacy material and options. They will take these options.
Just I would like to make it more clear, this point to be more clear for all.
It is very clear when you say support, you know, because we are talking now about outcomes. And it should not, in the outcomes, we should not say will support. It is policymaker globally, regionally, and in-country supported the establishment.
Support the
Because
establishment.
we are
Yeah,
assuming,
yeah.
you know, we are assuming that we finish this project.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I put, instead of outcomes, I put expected outcomes too. But I send it already to Dr. Adil, you see? So we are talking about, when you talk about outcomes or outputs or impacts, you are assuming that you finish your project or you finish your activities, and these are the impact or the results of this. So when you say outcomes, you should not say will support, supported already by using the outputs above, which is the policy options that they promoted, you see?
Yeah, you are right. I think both the outputs and outcomes should be written in you see, in past.
Policymakers globally,
tense.
regionally, and countries
Yeah.
supported the establishment.
Yeah. We're not
I
will.
already changed it, Dr. Adil, you can have it.
Yeah. Even for the output, it should be written in the past tense. You see, not
Exactly,
in the
don't-
present.
Exactly.
Except the goals.
so
The
you
goals
don't-
purpose can be written in the present.
For example, number 6, the long-term conservation of forgotten food, C2 and C2 and C2 promoted, and so on.
Okay, what was you see? What you have to concentrate on that. You see, our outcome should cover. You see, at least most of our output. You see,
Exactly.
are we? You see this? Yeah. Are we okay with this 2 or 3 outcomes versus 9 outputs?
Especially, usually like that, but you have to include everything. Usually it is like that, that you have 2 or 3 outcomes that can be resulted through 5 or 9 or 8 outputs, and so on.
All these 2 or 3 cover the 9 outputs.
We have to think of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Adil, Dr.
So,
Zoni, can I interfere here?
Yeah, okay.
Of course, please.
Okay. Yeah. For the outcomes, actually, if you look at it, it is very generic. Okay, it is not a real outcome from or outcomes from our project. This is general one. Usually for the outcomes, if we look at the outputs, the outcomes should be somehow, indicators and some numbers and some, evidence. For example, one of the main activities for this project is to have a global inventory for this forgotten food and enhance the production or productivity of this food. So the outcome of this, it has to say that we have, global inventory of the, forgotten foods. It can be used for this for the countries. This is one of the main outcomes that we have to mention it, because this is a real achievement of our project. Second, how many farmers, or the farmers in the second one, you said that farmers will be more involved in decision making. It is not. It is like, okay, we are aiming, or we think that these people, they will be involved. We need certain number or evidence how much or how many numbers will be benefited from this project. What I would suggest for the outcomes, to rewrite it again, having some kind of quantitative numbers. It cannot be like this, just put it in general. We need to have some quantitative numbers in order to be able to convince other people, and this is the real outcomes of our project. If we go to the outputs one by one, establish an operational global platform as defined above. Okay, what kind of a global platform? We can say that website, okay, the outcomes, website will be achieved and will be done to include all these people. This is one of the outcomes. Established of global inventory. Outcome, we have this digital outcome or book or whatever it will be, the kind of this inventory. This is second outcome. Policy advisory, we have to say some or kind of at least 2 countries or 3 countries, or we have a global, if we are targeting global we are targeting to have a global regulation that, okay, suggested the global regulations or disseminated by the international organization to the countries. This is one of the outcomes, or at least one regulation or one policy or one law or one regulation, let's say, that it was applied in one country, on each country, to achieve or to help the people to use and to promote use of these neglected crops. This is outcome. Support countries to develop, this is, we cannot do it, support the country in strengthening seed system that are convicted to make forgotten food seeds materialize available to farmers. If we are thinking that we will have some kind of what we call it, cooperation among the countries, which will be very difficult, I think it will be outcome. If not, we cannot have it. This will be as output, not outcome. Promote long-term conservation of forgotten food as an ex situ facilitating. We say the outcome that, okay, how many ex situ site that we have or we are targeting, this is outcome. At least 1 south of north-south sharing knowledge platform is established. This is another outcome. We have to say that, okay, we need to have one platform will be established, or one platform to be for neglected food, is established. This is the outcome that it has, the way that I see, and I think it has to be, because we need to have a quantitative, and it has to come along with our outputs as much as possible.
Thank you, Dr. Susan.
Thank you, Dr. Susan, but I have to clarify something,
Yeah.
If you go back, Dr. Susan, to the logical frame of any project,
Yeah.
these, what you mentioned is right 100%, but it is not coming on the outputs or outcomes. It is coming on the indicators that we have to put, because if we want to develop this to a project, then we have to develop our logical frame. The logical frame will include in the first, column, these outcomes, outputs, and then the activities, and it has another column for indicators. What you just mentioned, exactly the indicators that by achieving that level, for example, 2 networks, 100 farmers, and so on, by achieving that, we are achieving our output. So we have to leave this to the logical frame. I agree with you 100% that we have to put it, but it has to be in the indicators. These are the indicators that telling me that I achieve that output or the activity or not. But in the concept note, usually we don't put these numbers. This is what I know about concept notes. I never see indicators within the concept notes, but because this, platform, sharing platform is something that, some people were just mentioned that, at least in order to indicate, because it is very difficult, and it is establishment is not easy. It is outside our hands, because people are willing or non-willing to do it. You see, that's why they mentioned this here, but usually we don't have. This is my suggestion, this is my idea about concept note.
Yeah, but I think, Dr. Agluni, yeah, you're right, but I think the outcomes should reflect in a way or another the output, you see. Yeah, it's not necessarily to have quantitative numbers, because this will come later. You see, if you read this note up to the end, you see the activities and work plan. You see, this will be done later, including the work plan. That means the output, outcomes, the indicators, all this will be included, you see, after we agreed on this, you see, skeleton, I can say. So what we are running after that, would like first to make sure that these outputs reflect our regional
Yes,
manifesto.
agree.
Yeah, the second thing that the outcomes, reflect even every output that has an outcome, we have to see it reflected in the outcome. You see that.
Yes, each group of outputs should reflect an outcome.
Yeah, outcome. Even no problem. If two or three outputs has one outcome is okay, no problem. Yeah, but we want to make sure that the outputs are reflected in the outcomes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do have additional comments. Of course, I agree with Dr. Ajluni. He mentioned about the indicators, and as he said, indicators is not mentioned in the concept note. Of course, indicators is mentioned by Dr. Sausan. And it is usually like this. I mean, as you read a strategic document, usually the outcome is smaller in size than the outputs, and in fact the impact, which is even smaller in size, as written here. And if you can see the document, really it's linking the outcome with the purpose. They mentioned the two elements, the policymakers and the smallholders, and the outputs also, the outcomes also the smallholders and policymakers. The document, it seems, which is I also examined it might be 6-7 years ago, that a lot of policymakers, when you talk about such crops, the NUS or the FF, they don't care about it. They said, okay, we do have enough food, we do have quality food, so they don't care. And it seems this group of scientists from international organization like FAO, like Biodiversity International, really they are facing such kind of difficulties, and they want really to convey the message that look, the policymakers, national one or the regional one, you need to add this pieces, the NUS or the FF, in your system, in your food system, because I heard really sometimes that these policymakers, they don't. Okay, we should be enough with the wheat, with the barley, with the things like that, with this major staples. But I think this is the message really. It seems this group of scientists like Professor Carlo Feda and his group, they are really looking for conveying the policymakers and then our region, and might be even in Europe, that look, we should put more efforts in this. And this, of course, for getting food, and they do have right, and we believe that's a right message. So it seems that document really is written for the smallholder farmers as well as for the policymakers, and of course the chain, the policy, the community of practice are involved. From the student, from the researchers, and all these are included. So at the end, and you see the impact is the small holder farmers, which is really, as you see it is the core of this document. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Ali. But as you might recall that even for the project purpose, we add all this within the project. We are not, convinced by only the point, the smallholder farmers and the policy. We add all this, as you agree, the different stakeholders along the value chain. So all those were added in the purpose and now appear in the output. So we will reflect them in the outcome in a way or another. Yeah. So come to the last point, the impact. The impact is mentioning only the smallholder farmers, though. So there is, I think, there's a room to add to this subtitle of the impact. You see, who will be in the long term impacted by this project? You see, we are not talking about this. This is only just the start. You see, there will be many projects. You see, and as you can read, there are many projects before this project on forgotten food. You see, so it's continuous. So the impact maybe of it is you see a building up process. You see, so before you are starting any project, you build on what is going on the ground. You see, to have to make your assessment. So many times you are not starting from zero. So you will have a confounding figures, some people say. So we will have to look at it as a continuous process. Yeah, see. So we have to think about the impact, you see, of the work in general on forgotten foods, not only for this project, you see. So now, yeah, I don't only talking about the smallholder farmers. We have outputs, we have outcomes. I think we have to have more regarding the impact. Who is raising his hand? Dr. Ali.
I'm lowering my hand now.
Yeah, okay.
I'm done, yes.
Okay.
اطلع يلا خلاص لانك جيت.
Dr. Agluni?
Dr. Adil, can I excuse myself because I have another activity?
Yeah, you are right. Today
I
is a
don't
little
expect,
bit,
you know, that to be extended to this time. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But I think Dr. Shibli sent you my comments.
Yeah, okay.
And if you need anything from me, you can send it by email. I'm
Okay.
almost ready. I like to excuse myself and thank all of my friends and colleagues, and see you next meeting.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
See you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your contribution.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
You,
So I
bye-bye.
think we are talking a little, today we are, you see, taking a little bit, you see, more time, more than 1.5 hours. So I think if anyone has, you see, additional points which we didn't reflect or discuss in this meeting, you can send this point or comments or notes through email to today and tomorrow, because Thursday we have to submit our feedback, including the editorial work on the track, what were the addition point we discussed and agreed upon in this meeting, and also we will have, you see, a separate, you see, written part, you see, that reflect the general comments from regarding the setup of this concept note, you see. So I think, Dr. Reda, if
I just in the project management, I think they should add Arenina and Apari in the steering committee.
Arenina
and Apari, I think they have to be added to the steering committee.
Which steering committee?
Well, if you read on the other page, in the last page, project management, a steering committee composed of GFAR, CFF, Alliance of Biodiversity, and SIAT, Regional Association of GFAR, and AFA. Anyone else? They put a question mark.
Okay,
Anyone
yeah,
else?
okay.
So I think Arenina and Apari should be part of the steering committee, like you and the also the president of Apari should be members of the steering committee.
Yeah, we are three. I don't know. We are three regional organizations: Arenina, Apari, and FAR. You see,
I agree.
I think we have to put Arenina. You see, we have to put Arenina.
I strongly agree.
Leave others to put themselves. You see, so I think we have to put Arenina. Yeah.
That's right.
We have to put Arenina. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Dr. Adil, if you please.
Okay,
Dr. Adil.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Dr. Adil.
Khaldun, yeah.
If you please, I have a suggestion on the impact of this concept note. We could add well-established legal framework or well-established legislations, in addition to highly promoted awareness, public awareness of the significance and importance of the forgotten foods. I think these two components could be added to the impact. This would be better, I think. Of course, if you agree on that, well-established legislations, well-established legal framework, or another point is the well-raised public awareness.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, Prof. Adil.
Welcome, Dr. Talabi.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry for joining in late. I had some other engagements and I had a conflict with the timing too. So basically what I just wanted to add for the under the impact, I saw that most of it, we have those smallholder farmers will have improved livelihood, jobs will be created, income increase and all that. I think we didn't really make mention because the original intent of promoting the forgotten foods is actually to enrich the diet. And then after enriching the diet, we want to also diversify the diets as well as far as much, want to enrich and diversify the diet also. And then we also want to use it to also diversify the cropping systems that we have. And ultimately, it's going to affect our food systems entirely. So I don't know, is there a way to coin that in as the impact? It might not come in the immediate, but hopefully in the long run, it will be part of what we have as our impact. So I don't know if there's a way to really coin that in because it looks like it's not captured at all there.
I agree with you, Dr. Talabi. As diversification of food is also very important because this forgotten food really has nutritional value, which is we are now missing because we are relying on only few species of crops. Thank you. Yeah, I agree.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So you add another point to the impact. Okay. We miss connection with Dr. Talabi.
Yes, Prof.
Yeah, you finish with your point. Yeah,
yes,
regarding the diversification. Okay. So we receive your editorial work also on the concept note. We receive your editorial work on the concept note.
Yes, Prof. Thank you. I didn't have that with them actually. Thank you.
So we discussed. We see start from the beginning, even the title, the background, problem statement. The we change these some subtopics, subtitle. I mean, we intended beneficiaries. We should change it to potential beneficiaries.
Oh, perfect.
Instead of goal statement, purpose. We add some. You see, purpose, project purposes, and also we impact pathway. We put the expected outputs and expected outcome. See, and we add some outputs, some outcomes. Yeah. So if you have any new comments, notes, you have today and tomorrow, you can send us. You see, because Thursday we'll send our feedback, which we discussed now in this meeting and which we received through emails. You see, so we'll compile all this and send it to the organizers by Thursday, so they can move forward with the development of the plan of work and regarding the activities. You see, the more elaboration on the output, outcomes, the indicators. You see. So I'd like to thank you all for your valuable contribution to this global collective action on forgotten foods, and we are looking forward for your support. You see, we are still, you see, we are, we are expecting by the end of this year, we have at least a draft plan of a global one, and at the same time, we have to work on our regional one, you see, because as you can read from the beginning, they said that a global plan of work can cost billions. So it seems that they are looking for some regional, you see, plan of work on forgotten food. So we have as a RNA to be prepared for that, you see. So I'd like to thank you all, and we're looking forward to see you maybe, and we have I think a meeting next Monday to discuss the standard inventory sheet and the collecting what we said that we don't have to say questionnaire or survey. We agreed on forgotten food collection data form. You see, that was prepared by Dr. Khalid, and we have some inputs, and the spreadsheets for the standard inventory was prepared by Dr. Ali. So we'll discuss this in the next meeting. So I would like to ask Dr. Rida to circulate what he received from Dr. Khalid and Dr. Ali to all of us. So we will be prepared for next Monday meeting. Thank you all and goodbye. Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم
وعليكم
السلام
السلام ورحمة الله.
Alaikum
Thank you all.
salam. Thank you, everybody.
Alaikum assalam.
Salam, bye bye.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.